And finally, Bill Gates has a McDonald's Gold Card that grants him unlimited free food at every McDonald's location in the world.
In the history of this network, there's only one person who knows baseball better than Boog Sciambi. That's Tim Kirkshin. I don't even know if Boog Sciambi is willing to acknowledge that. Let's see if Boog Sciambi is willing to acknowledge that. When you and Tim Kirkshin are talking baseball, Boog, who knows more about baseball?
He does. He's 1,000 years old.
Okay, there it is. He's a compiler. He's got a longevity of knowledge.
But is that the only one? Is it Kirkshin? That's it?
That's the only one I'm willing to give it to.
Oh, everybody. What are you talking about? By the way, like Joey Gallo has a card that gets him Chipotle at everywhere in the country. So I don't know why this is such a big deal. You know?
Joey Gallo?
I mean, that's what you get. Listen, when you hit 40 homers and bat at 191, that's what you get.
Give me an amazing stat to rival the stat I'm about to give you about Joey Gallo, which is that he arrived at 50 homers before he arrived at 50 singles.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, I don't have an amazing stat. I have no amazing Joey Gallo stat at the moment. I mean, they keep playing 4 outfielders on him, which I love. That the field is bizarre to look at when he comes up to hit.
Mina Kimes is writing me a note asking, this is not Booger McFarland. This is not the SEC's Booger McFarland. And she just asked me, are these two different people, Booger McFarland and Boog Sciambi?
I thought
that hurts.
They're two different people.
Booger Sciambi, the voice of Sunday Night Baseball.
You thought we were talking to Booger McFarland about baseball?
Listen. Don't make assumptions. First of all, you don't know what he knows about baseball. Right. There's 2 humans named Boog and Booger.
Yeah, that's right. And I had it first, a lot longer. And Boog Powell had it before me.
Attaboy.
Boog, what did you make of Tampa doing? You love revolutionary thinking. You love guys who are willing to be people who are willing to be counterintuitive. What did you make of Tampa Bay starting Sergio Romo 2 consecutive games?
I want to be on Monday Night Football, by the way. There's a way. It'd be great. I could just show up and just be like, how you doing? I'm Booger McFarland. I'm on the sideline. Okay.
I can't think of anyone at the network or the history of the network that looks less like Booger McFarland than you. He's a redhead, yes. Like, who looks less like Booger McFarland than Boog Sciambi? I'm serious. I mean... Mina looks more like Booger McFarland than Boog does. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Yep. Who looks less like Booger McFarland, Mina or Boog Sciambi? What did you make of Tampa Bay starting a reliever 2 games in a row?
I liked it. I mean, I just, it's got to be different. I would say it's so much easier to do that stuff when your payroll's 27th and you have no media attention. Like, no matter how logical it is, trying to do that in Chicago for the Cubs or the Yankees or the Red Sox, it's much harder to pull that because it gets overdone, man.
But can you explain to us why it's a good idea? Like, is that something that you would try to do?
It depends on what your personnel is. Like, if I'm the Astros, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on look, the one thing that's happening now is that teams are pretty in on the idea that with outliers aside, you're not going to want your starting pitcher to go through the order 3 times. So you get 2 looks. You're not looking for them to go deep to begin with, so you're just trying to cobble innings together. And now, you look at it the reverse, bullpen usage, the way the Brewers use Josh Hader. He's not their closer, but he's just their out-getter. They use him for 2 innings at a time, and then he sits for 2 days, or they use him for 4, and he's off a day, 4 outs, and then he's off a day. So it's just about cobbling together the 27 outs is all. Cobbling.
Can you explain this to me? You mentioned the Astros, and I was surprised to learn this the other day, that they've got the 3 best starting pitchers, ERA and WHIP, and that none of them are named McCullers, that they've got 3 guys on their staff that are just totally dominating the league.
Yeah, and, and Keuchel's won a Cy Young. Yeah, I think that there's an element of it. So they've gotten really into utilizing these things called edgertronic cameras, which are high-speed cameras that are super, super slow-mo. And when Verlander came over from Detroit, he needed some help with his slider. He was actually, pronating before releasing, and it was kind of counteracting what they wanted him to do. So it really helps a lot with breaking stuff, and they're able to isolate in super, super slow motion what the hand is doing, and then also arm slot. So that, and they have smart guys with their data and applying their data to a guy like Garrett Cole, as I would say, utilized his weapons better than what he was doing, because he's throwing his fastball less, his breaking pitches at a much higher rate.
Let's do this as quick as we can, Boog, because we've got a bunch of questions for you. 30 seconds or less, rapid fire on all these questions. Go, Stugotz.
Explain the Braves.
Talented. The two guys are really talented. Their position playing team is talented. Freddie Freeman is like just short of Joey Votto good. He's really, really good. He's been one of the 12 best hitters or so in baseball over the course of the last 3 years. He's outstanding. And then these two kids are amazing. I don't think that they'll hang in there, but they're leading the National League in runs per game. It's pretty incredible. I thought that the Phillies would be able to hang in, but not the Braves.
The Dodgers being terrible, injuries or baseball?
Man, a little bit of both, but I think that they're in trouble because they need a healthy Kershaw and they need a great Kershaw, and then they're not scoring. I mean, Cody Bellinger's starting in center field, and Yasmani Grandal was hitting third for them, with all due respect to Yasmani the other night. So I think they're in a little bit of trouble.
Manny Machado, where's he ending up?
I don't know. Everybody says the Cubs, but the epitaph on the Cubs season is not going to say they didn't score. So I'm not quite sure. And he's not a plus-plus defender at short. He is at third. He's one of the best ever at third. But at short, he's not, in my opinion, and people that I talk to, it's not as good. So I don't know. Yankees
going to get one of those Mets starters?
I don't know whether they'll get a Mets starter, but they're getting a starter. Maybe the guy that pitched against them last night, Cole Hamels. But I don't think that the Mets will do that.
Is it worth it for a Robinson Cano? And I know that he got caught well after the contract, but is it worth it in baseball to risk the suspension for the contract?
Yes.
So you're asking me would I take steroids?
Yes.
For $240 million, yeah.
I'd probably give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Tell us about what you're doing over the course of the next week, because you're involved with a good cause. You lost a friend of yours. It was very personal to you. Tell us about what you're working with.
Can we play the voicemail?
We already did.
We did, yeah. Looking forward to it, Boog. I'll be there for you.
Did he make it? He didn't even make a donation, right? You can track.
I still have time. If things not till next week, I was waiting for Boog to come on to give us the information.
For what? The best part is I've actually instituted a fine rule that with everybody. Every clever person who listens to your show, when I tweet something out, they're the funny guy. Boogie, it's Weens. And everybody tweets that at me, and I've made it a mandatory $25 fine if somebody tweets that at me to donate to the charity. And by and large, people have been doing it.
Right. Well, that's nice. I think I tweeted that at you, actually, recently. I didn't make the donation, though. But I'm on it. I'm telling you, I have until next week. I'm excited. I'm going to do it for you.
Let's go. Raise some money, huh?
Okay, I will raise money for you. I can't be there, but I will.
Tax deductible, yeah.
All right, I have a lacrosse mitzvah, but I'm telling you, I will raise money for you over the next few days, okay?
All right. So the deal is this. I lost my friend Tim Sheedy to ALS in 2007. We've been running this charity ever since. We raise money for ALS patient care. There's no cure for this disease, which stinks, and we got to figure out a way to find a cure, but also help the living, and that is what our charter mission is. Because Pete Frates started the Ice Bucket Challenge last year, or started the Ice Bucket Challenge, and he raised $200 million. Last year, his family almost went bankrupt. So, that thing raised $200 million, but the costs are just gruesome when it comes to this disease. And by and large, it's because people are starting to live longer. The disease, by and large, it's 2.5 to 5 years usually the person lives. So our event is next Tuesday, and it's a gala in New York City at the Museum of the City of New York. And we have a great auction that is live right now. I'll send you guys some stuff. We have some really cool auction items. You can go to teamgleason.org/softball. You can donate in my profile, anything else.